Hi everybody, this is Melanie Shapiro. I'm an immigration attorney. I hope everybody's doing well. We have clients all over the world from about 70 different countries, so we do consults in person. We have 2 offices in Massachusetts, one in Norwood and one in Worcester, and we also do consults over Zoom or over the phone. So we are doing a clinic, a free clinic for July 5th for Independence Day celebration. And we are also doing a little party for the LGBT asylum seekers at our Worcester office for Pride Month on Monday. So hopefully some of you guys will be joining us. All right, so let's get started. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them into the comments and I will get to as many as I can. All right, the first question I have is from Adam. He says, if I have a pending asylum and I'm waiting for the interview, are there any issues if I apply for Medicare? Will it affect my case? No. I have someone ask, okay, I'll get to your question in a second on TikTok. So, no, there's no issues with that. Medicare will not affect your asylum case at all. And in fact, when you go to get your green card after hopefully you win your asylum case, it's definitely more lenient with some of the financial requirements than a regular adjustment of status case. So you don't need an affidavit of support for adjustment of status based on asylum. I have someone on TikTok asking, are you related to Ben Shapiro at all? Not that I know of. Shapiro is a very, very common Jewish last name, so all of my family is in New York and New Jersey. But maybe, maybe not. I don't know. So for those of you joining on TikTok, please say hello. Let me know how you're doing. Same on Facebook. Let me know if you have any questions. So I have a question here. Hi, are you able to help Afghan clients? Are you taking any more cases? So yes and no, right? So I filed about 40 humanitarian parole cases for Afghans, and unfortunately, the government has enacted these extremely stringent, difficult standards for only for Afghans, which is totally not fair. Because there's a lot of political issues that the U.S. contributed to the crisis in Afghanistan. So most of the Afghan humanitarian parole cases are being denied. I'm not taking any new ones right now. And we do have some information that people who are in humanitarian cities in UAE are supposed to be transferred to the US if they have any pending cases. But I haven't had any of my clients of those 40 who have been transported yet. So I will keep everybody updated. If somebody is already in the United States and they're from Afghanistan, then you can do temporary protected status, and that's just being, people are just being able to apply for this now. So in the next week or so, if anyone is from Afghanistan, you're already in the United States, then we can look at applying for temporary protected status for you. But otherwise, generally, I'm not taking any more humanitarian parole cases. I'm not doing any of the SIV cases. But there is a whole task force within my bar association that is trying to do that stuff. So thank you for your question. And then Anger on Facebook, hello. So EB2 national interest waiver. So those are a little bit tricky to get. I'm going to look at the visa bulletin for you right now and see where we are with EB2s. So the visa bulletin is something on the Department of State website that is updated every month to let you know how long certain cases are going to take if they are not the type of cases where a visa is immediately available. So for employment-based preference categories, there's 4 different ones. The second is for members of professions holding advanced degrees or persons of exceptional ability. And right now, EB2, final action date, it's current unless you're from China or India, And then if that's the case, then there's about a 3.5 year backlog for China, and an almost an 8 year backlog for India. And then every month on the visa bulletin, they specify whether or not you can use a final action date chart, or you have to use the filing date chart. So it says here for July 2022, it's the final action date chart. So those are the dates that I had mentioned. So current, unless you're from China and India, and then it's going to take a long time, particularly if you're from India. So I hope that helps answer your question. Great. So if you have any other questions, go ahead and send them in. Let me know you're here. Say hello. I hope everybody's doing great. Okay, so I have another question here from Laura. She said, I need assistance from my partner with a waiver of inadmissibility. It's been almost 5 years and he was denied entry into the United States, and we'd like to get him a tourist visa for a short visit. I'm an American citizen and he's Australian. So if you are here in the US and you're his partner, um, immigration is going to probably assume that he's intending to stay. One thing that you can do is you can do a fiance visa. Um, and then also, I'm kind of curious why he was denied entry into the United States, and if was he expedited, removed at the border? Was he just denied for a visitor visa? So I'd like to see, some more information about that. So definitely set up a consult with me. You can click the link in the bio to set up a consult directly. You could send us a message. We also have limited spots available for the July 5th Independence Day free 15-minute consultations. So if you're interested in booking one of those, then you should send us a message today so that you might have a chance to get a slot. Thank you for your question. Let's see. Manoj says, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too. Hope you're doing well. The next question that I have is from Albino. Any advice? I've been outside of the US for over 6 years. I want to come back, but now my green card has expired since 2020. Any advice on what step I should take? Well, you're going to have to try and get a reinstatement of your green card. If you are outside of the US for more than 6 months out of the year, you are at risk of losing your green card status. So I would want to see the basis of how you got your green card in the first place and what we might be able to do for that. Thank you for your question. Okay, if you guys have any other questions, go ahead and send them in. Give you guys a second. So as I mentioned, we're having a Pride celebration on Monday, so I'm really excited about that. And let's see. Oh, I have another couple of questions here. Raul asked, can someone with an approved valid advance parole leave and go to his or her scheduled consular interview abroad? I-601A not submitted. Any thoughts? The interview is for the consular process. No, do not do that. If you need an I-601A, you should wait for that to be approved before you go for your consular interview. The great thing about the 601A unlawful presence provisional waiver is that you can have your case decided before you leave, unlike any other type of waiver. So that means that unlike the other types of waivers, you don't have to be waiting in your country for months and months and months. You get the I-601A approved, and then you get the consular interview scheduled, and then you go down. And that way you're only out of the country for about 2 weeks, maybe a little bit more. And the whole premise of that unlawful presence waiver is so that families would not be separated for long periods of time. The other types of waivers can take 9 months or more, and you have to wait outside of the US. So don't go anywhere until your I-601A is approved. The next question that I have is from Alma. What are the common mistakes you have seen in your client's marriage petition cases? Ooh, well, first of all, I would say, let's see. So, common mistakes. I think that everybody's relationship is different, but if someone doesn't know basic information about the other person, about their family, or, oh, I know another one that's a big mistake is having photos that look staged or not taking pictures. People, it's really important, I think, for cases that you have some photos, you have photos that are not just the two of you, you have photos that are with different people at different locations at different times. If you, I think one of the other red flags with marriage petitions is if there is a big age difference. Another red flag would be if the people don't live together, if you don't share finances, you don't commingle your finances, you don't have joint bank accounts, or, you know, some people like to keep their finances separate, and that's fine, but it's important to have any other supporting evidence. Um, I Other mistakes that I have seen, well, if there's if I see sometimes somebody staying in a relationship just for getting their papers when they really should leave, particularly if someone's in an abusive marriage and feel like they have to stay, it's important that they understand that they can petition for themselves under the Violence Against Women Act, which is also good for men too. So Violence Against Anyone Act, really, it should be called. Um, I think if they're, oh, one of the other really big issues I've seen in marriage cases is if somebody had been married in their home country and then they didn't, and it was like a traditional marriage, and not being clear about whether there was a dissolution of that marriage. So making sure that you are absolutely free to marry before you marry the person who's petitioning for you. If somebody I've had someone who had a kid with someone else while they were married to someone else, that can cause a red flag. Um, yeah, so those are some of the issues that I've seen over the years with the cases. Thank you for your question. Um, let's see. I have Parwiz. How long does it take to bring your family to the US from Afghanistan once your asylum is granted, and how long does it take to receive travel authorization? Well, the problem with Afghanistan is the US Embassy isn't up and running, so the interview would have to be scheduled somewhere like in Islamabad or somewhere else. And it's the I-730 is the follow to join petition. So after somebody wins asylum, they can file the I-730 follow to join petition for their spouse, for their children under 21. And that's it. Nobody else. I see it in normal times taking about 2 years. So, yeah, probably 2 years, maybe more. And then Idris is saying, what is the I-821D approval form? So you're probably talking about the approval notice, and that's for DACA for deferred action. Parwiz is saying, I mean immediate family members, wife, and children. Yes, you can apply for them, but it's going to take probably about 2 years, if not more. You can, because of circumstances, ask for the case to be expedited. Um, so that's something you can do. And then Fahim says, hello, madam, I have a question. I did a job with the US government in Afghanistan for about 7 years. I applied many times, but I keep receiving denials. So I don't know what you applied for. So I'm not sure, but let's see. Yeah, I don't really have any solution for that. You can try just reaching out to the Department of State and seeing if there's anything that can be done, but I'm not really sure. And then Idris is saying humanitarian parole for Afghans. So I answered this earlier in the video, so you can go back and watch it, but yeah, nothing really good is happening for humanitarian parole. Most of those are being denied, and any decisions are taking probably about 9 months or more. Thank you for the questions. I'm going to stick around for a second in case anyone has another question. So, let's see. think I might have hit all the questions here. If you are interested in booking a consultation with me, the link is in the bio, so you can just click the link and book directly from the website, or you can send us a message and we can get you set up with a consultation either in person in Worcester or Norwood, Massachusetts, or through Zoom or on the phone. So, all right, great. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I hope that you have a great day, and I will see you next week.